Hotep, how's everybody doing? Hey, this is Michael Imhotep, host of the African History Network show. Hey, today is Thursday, April 19th, 2018. Thursday, April 19th, 2018. And we are live, okay? Broadcasting live. Trying it out from my phone today instead of from the computer. Okay, so I saw the interview that the two brothers did this morning, Rashon Nelson and Donte Robinson, the interview they did on Good Morning America. So these are the two brothers who were arrested at the Starbucks, okay? And hopefully I'm coming through all right. Hopefully everybody can hear me okay. All right, so how's everybody doing today? Share this broadcast on your own Facebook page. Invite your friends to tune in, all right? Okay, so they were on Good Morning America this morning with their attorney, and they were interviewed by Robin Roberts. And then we learned some details about the incident that we did not already know. Some very important details about the incident that we did not already know. All right, so Huffington Post Black Voices has a good article about this, and then also abcnews.go.com has an article as well. So Huffington Post Black Voices, their article, Black Men Arrested at Starbucks, said they were there for 2 minutes before 911 call. Black men arrested at Starbucks said they were there 2 minutes before 911 call. Okay, so Rashon Nelson and Donte Robinson walked into the Starbucks on Thursday, April 12, 2018 at approximately 4:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this is what they told Robin Roberts this morning on Good Morning America. Rashon Nelson said he immediately asked the store manager if he could use the bathroom, but was told restrooms were for paying customers only. Rashon Nelson said he left it at that, quote unquote, left it at that, and joined Donte Robinson at a table to wait for their friend, Andrew Yaffe, to arrive for a scheduled 4:45 p.m. business meeting. So the interview they did was about six minutes, almost 7 minutes this morning with Robin Roberts. They said they have been working on this business deal for months also, okay? So Rashon Nelson said he immediately asked the store manager, he immediately asked the store manager if they could use the bathroom, but told no. All right, so the Starbucks manager then approached the man and asked them, they're sitting at the table, asked them if they wanted to order something, according to Rashon Nelson, and they declined. Okay, at 4:37 p.m., approximately 2 minutes after they arrived, the manager called 911. All right, so when the officers come in, right, Rashon Nelson says, Donte Robinson says, they can't be here for us. Okay, recalling initially, that was his initial reaction when the police officers entered the Starbucks a few minutes later. He went on to say, as soon as they approached us, they just said, we have to leave. He said there was no question of, what was there a problem here between you and the manager, or what happened? They were just told immediately that they have to leave. That sounds strange. Now, police did not explain why they were being arrested. Donte Robinson said either. Didn't explain to them why they were being arrested. He said, quote, we wasn't read any rights, nothing. Just double lock handcuffs behind our backs and escorted out and put into a squad car, end quote. So just so people know, police are not required to read you your rights unless you're going to be questioned. Okay, that's when they read your rights, just so people understand. All right. So Melissa DePino, who we talked about before, you saw my previous broadcast a few days ago, she was on MSNBC, on Vilshi and Rule on MSNBC. I think that was on Monday. She said, quote, the police were called because these men had not ordered anything. And she's a writer who recorded the incident and tweeted about it last week. That video has been viewed over 11 million times now. She said they were waiting for a friend to show up who did show up as they were taken out in handcuffs for doing nothing. All the other white people are wondering why it's never happened to us when we do the same thing, end quote. Okay, so if we look at the article, so that's the article from Huffington Post, Black Voices. All right, and they focused in on the 2 minutes, being there 2 minutes the police are called. Probably the best account that I've seen of this is from abcnews.go.com, which is the official website of ABC News, because these brothers were interviewed this morning on Good Morning America. Okay, and that's ABC. So if we look at that article, name of that article is "Men Arrested at Starbucks Were There for Business Meeting Hoping to Change, quote unquote, Our Lives." Men arrested at Starbucks were there for a business meeting hoping to change, quote unquote, our lives. That's from August 19, 2018. Okay, so in the article, it says that Rashon Nelson and Donte Robinson came forward this morning on ABC News Good Morning America to publicly share their story for the first time. This is the first time we've really heard from them, okay, in an interview setting. So the 23-year-old entrepreneurs and longtime friends said they were waiting to meet a potential business partner at the Starbucks in Philadelphia's Rittenhouse Square neighborhood Thursday, April 12, 2018, when a barista asked them whether they wanted to order anything. They declined and told her they were just there for a quick meeting, they said. And they said this in an interview. I went and watched the entire interview before I did this broadcast also. I read the articles and I watched the interview, all right? The interview is in this article from abcnews.com as well. Also, New York Daily News has an article about this as well, okay? We're going to post this link here to the article from ABC News here on our Facebook fan page. Be sure to follow us on our YouTube channel, Michael Imhotep, I-M-H-O-T-E-P, Michael Imhotep on YouTube, because we post a lot of these videos on YouTube as well. And some people have problems watching them on Facebook, okay? So we post them on YouTube also. All right. Okay, so let's continue. How's everybody doing? Share this broadcast on your Facebook page. Invite your friends to tune in also. So if we look at the article from ABC News, okay? So Rashon Nelson said he immediately asked to use the bathroom when they walked in, but was informed it was for paying customers only. So the pair sat at a table and waited for their friend to arrive for the scheduled meeting. He said then they saw police officers enter the store and speak with the manager, they said. Okay. The article from ABC News has more detail than the one from Huffington Post Black Voices. So Robinson said, Donte Robinson said, quote, "I was thinking they can't be here for us," end quote. This is what he said in an interview with Robin Roberts. He said, quote, "We have meetings at Starbucks all the time," end quote. We have meetings at Starbucks all the time. So they didn't think anything of it until the officers approached their table and told them they needed to leave, they said. Quote, "It was just, get out. You have to leave. You're not buying anything, so you shouldn't be here," end quote. Rashon Nelson said. Okay. Now, see, once again, I asked the question, how many white people did Holly? Now, Holly was the manager there at that store. Her name was Holly. How many white people did Holly call the police on who were sitting there waiting on a meeting or sitting there using the free Wi-Fi? So they said they calmly told the officers they were there for a meeting. And Donte Robinson said he even called the person for whom they were waiting. But the officers repeatedly insisted that they leave. So Donte Robinson said, quote, "It's a real estate meeting. We've been working on this for months. We're days away from changing our whole entire situation, our lives, and you about to sit here telling me I can't do that. You're not doing that," end quote. The officers ultimately handcuffed Nelson and Robinson and escorted them out of the Starbucks and into a squad car before taking them to the police station. Both men were later freed, and the charges they were facing, trespassing and disturbance, were dropped that night. Now, when you read the account, and we dealt with this in the previous broadcast, when you read the articles from Philly.com, which is the Philadelphia Inquirer, right? it says that the charges, they said charges were dropped because the prosecutor said there was no evidence of a crime. They said the charges were dropped because the prosecutor said there was no evidence of a crime. Well, if there was no evidence of a crime, why would they arrest it? Okay? That's a very important question. And I think it's in the article from, check the article from Philly.com. Philly police dispatcher after 911 call, group of males was causing a disturbance at Starbucks. Check that one. I think they probably talk about it in there because we talked about that yesterday. We'll post a link here on the thread of the broadcast. All right, but that's extremely important. If the prosecutor is not pressing charges because of lack of a crime, then the question comes up: why were they arrested in the first place? See, once again, it seems like most of the officers there were white. Okay. And it seemed like these white male officers wanted to impose their authority on these African-American men who they felt had no business being there. Okay. Let's see here. Do we have it here? Okay. So we'll post the link of this article here from Philly.com because I have a bunch of articles on this. I want to pull that up right now for you. Okay. All right, here we go. We have it coming up here. We'll put that on the thread of the broadcast here on Facebook. All right, there we go. So check that out. All right, so article from abcnews.com continues. So the officers ultimately handcuffed both Nelson and Robinson and escorted them out of the Starbucks and into a squad car before taking them to the police station. Both men were later freed, and the charges they were facing, trespassing and disturbance, were dropped that night. They were dropped, but the prosecutor said there was no evidence of a crime. So now also they were there for 8 or 9 hours as well. Now an onlooker, Melissa DePino, captured the incident on video, which has been viewed more than 10 million times online and prompted protests outside the Coffee Giant's location on Spruce Street. DePino, who's a 50-year-old writer and mother of 2, told ABC News that a Starbucks barista shouted from behind the counter at the 2 men to make a purchase or leave. What kind of, now I've been in customer service for years. Okay. I managed a retail outlet. I worked in retail. I've done call service. I worked in a call center before. I've taught customer service. I've taught virtual customer service. Okay. So like when you call and somebody's working from home, you call an 800 number for customer service working from home. I've taught those courses. All right. What type of customer service is it for a manager to yell that you need to buy something or leave? I don't remember that in any other manuals. So she said she said the Starbucks barista shouted from behind the counter at the 2 men to make a purchase or leave. Melissa DePino said, quote, they were sitting quietly minding their own business and waiting for their friend to come, end quote, she said in an interview on Sunday. Now Donte Robinson said police never read them their Miranda rights. Like I said, they only obligated to read you Miranda rights if you're going to be questioned. That's law. When they were handcuffed, and they were held in custody for 8 hours. Now, he said, quote, there was no reasoning. They had nothing. They just kept using defiant trespassing as their excuse for putting us behind bars. Now, the Philadelphia Police Department did not immediately respond to ABC News' request for comment this morning, Thursday, April 19th. We'll come to some of your comments here in just a minute. But Philadelphia Police Commissioner Richard Ross Jr. said in the video testimonial released Saturday, April 14th, that his officers did absolutely nothing wrong. Okay, that's what he said. The article from Philly.com that we're about to come to next, which just broke in the last, when this article break from Philly.com. New article, Philly.com. Oh, this just broke in the last hour. Is different. The police commissioner now is saying something different after pressure has been put on him. Because I went and watched his entire video he did, it's about 6 minutes, 50 seconds, this past Saturday, and it was ridiculous. Okay, so the Philadelphia Police Department did not immediately respond to ABC News request, but Philadelphia Police Commissioner Richard Ross Jr. said in video testimonial Saturday the officers did absolutely nothing wrong. He said, quote, "I can tell you candidly these officers did a service they were called to do," end quote. As I said before, common sense has to kick in, and as more information comes out, it shows that the officers lack discretion. They didn't say, hey, we got a call about a problem. You're not buying anything. They asked you to buy something. What's going on here? Not trying to mediate, just trying to enforce authority. Okay? Not trying to resolve a problem, anything like that. Just trying to enforce authority. Now, the police commissioner also accused the men of being disrespectful to the officers and said that both were given several chances to leave, but they refused. Quote, "On 3 different occasions, the officers asked the 2 males politely to leave the location because they were being asked to leave by employees because they were trespassing," end quote. It wasn't explained to them by the police why they were trespassing, what the problem was, anything like that. Quote, "Instead, the males continued to refuse as they had told the employees and they told the officers that they were not leaving," end quote. This is what the police commissioner, Richard Ross Jr., said on Saturday. So Starbucks CEO Kevin Johnson released a statement last Saturday, April 14th, Saturday night, apologizing to the 2 men on behalf of the company. Quote, "The video shot by customers is very hard to watch, and the actions in it are not representative of our Starbucks mission and values," end quote, he said in the station. "Creating an environment that is both safe and welcoming for everyone is paramount for every store. Regretfully, our practices and training led to a bad outcome. The basis for the call to the Philadelphia Police Department was wrong. Our store manager never intended for these men to be arrested, and this should never have escalated as it did." Okay, now Holly should have thought, if I call these officers on these 2 African-American men, there's a chance that they may get arrested. So in an interview on Monday morning, Monday was the 16th, April 16th. In an interview Monday morning on Good Morning America, CEO Kevin Johnson said he will order managers to undergo training on how to spot unconscious bias. We know that was announced yesterday. We did a broadcast yesterday talking about that. New York Times has a big article about that, well, 2 days ago on the 17th. All these days are running together. Starbucks to close 8,000 U.S. stores for racial bias training after arrest. Okay, check out the broadcast we did yesterday about that. I put it on YouTube also. Now, I'll say the circumstances surrounding the incident and the outcome at our store on Thursday were reprehensible. CEO Kevin Johnson said they were wrong, and for that, I personally apologize to the gentlemen that visited our store, end quote. Okay. In this article here, it says a Starbucks spokeswoman subsequently confirmed to ABC News that the store manager who called police no longer works there. That may be an update from the reporting from Philly.com. It said that the store manager left the store pending an investigation by Starbucks. Okay, so we're waiting on more information on that. Now, an update to this story. That was an update. Here's another update to the story. And let me refresh the screen because this was last updated 12:26 p.m., which is about an hour ago. Okay, updated again 1:04 p.m. Glad I see this is a fluid story. You know, I've been doing radio for 8 years. I covered thousands of stories. This is a fluid story. Philadelphia.com, the Philadelphia Inquirer Daily News, is reporting Philly Police Commissioner Richard Ross issues public apology to 2 men arrested at Starbucks. This story was just updated at 1:04 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today is now 1:21 p.m. So this is a fresh story. Okay. Philadelphia Police Commissioner Richard Ross under heavy criticism for the arrest of two 23-year-old African-American Philadelphia men. I said African-American. They didn't even mention race, but I am. At a Starbucks near Rittenhouse Square a week ago, and his defense of the police action, apologized to the men Thursday and said he had made the situation worse. You think? You think you made the situation worse? Yeah, you made the situation worse, and you made an ass out of yourself also. I'm just saying. In a hastily arranged news conference at police headquarters, Philadelphia Police Commissioner Richard Ross Jr., who is African American, by the way, said he was unaware that people sit inside Starbucks for hours. Really? Quote, come on, hold on, wait a second, man. Come on. I don't even go to Starbucks that much, and I know that. I've never worked in law enforcement. Wait a second, hold on, man. You the chief of police, and you don't know people sit in Starbucks for hours? Come on, man. and you thought you made it worse on Saturday? Okay. All right. In a hastily arranged news conference at police headquarters, Ross said he was unaware that people sit inside Starbucks for hours. Quote, I apologize, end quote. He said in remarks intended for Rashon Nelson and Donte and Deontay Robinson. Okay. Donte Robinson. Okay. The men arrested for sitting in the store without making a purchase. He said, quote, shame on me, end quote, if I have done anything to perpetuate racism, Ross said, adding that no one had told him he should apologize. Okay. So Police Commissioner Richard Ross Jr. said a new policy would be announced on how the police department will respond to similar calls. One reason, he said, is so that officers will not be manipulated by businesses. So officers will not be manipulated by businesses, okay? And how's everybody doing? We'll come to your comments here in just a second, man. This story gets crazier and crazier every day, and it gets worse for the police. It gets crazier and crazier every day. All right. The police chief said he didn't know people sit inside of a Starbucks for hours. Okay, you know that commercial about Captain Obvious on the TV? You know the commercial? Newsflash, police chief, people sell drugs at drug houses. Police chief, newsflash, there's strippers at strip clubs. Oh my God. Now, in every major police department, they have a public relations department or a public relations person, right? Did he consult with public relations before he made this statement, trying to make things better? Because you made it worse. You made yourself look like an idiot. All right, so Ross, Police Chief Ross said, let me go back here. Okay. So Police Chief said a new policy will be announced on how the police department will respond to similar calls. One reason, he said, is so that officers will not be manipulated by businesses. If these officers had just asked some questions, if they just asked some questions of the men, you know, they could have worked this out. Where's the Andy Griffin? Where's the Sheriff Andy Taylor when you need one? Right? So he said he was not sure if that happened in this instance. I could tell you that it happened. I think that happened in this instance. I think partly manipulated by the business, but the officers didn't use common sense and didn't ask these men questions. So the police commissioner, who is black, said the number of officers responding to the call was not excessive. Police Commissioner Ross said it was wrong for him to have said in a Facebook Live video on Sunday that the, quote, officers did not do anything wrong, end quote. Still, he said they followed the law. Okay. At what point did you realize that it was wrong for you to say they didn't do anything wrong? So Ross said he does not think the officers acted in a racist manner. Quote, they were put in an untenable position, end quote. And all they had to do is use some common sense and ask the men some questions. Hey guys, we got a complaint that you're sitting here, you're refusing to buy anything. Did you know that Starbucks has a policy that you have to purchase something? These tables are for that. Did you know that? You say, talk to them like they're human beings. That's not what happened. So Ross said he was offering, quote, my sincere apologies to these gentlemen, end quote, who were arrested, and to the officers involved. He said, quote, it just comes back to the notion that I have to do better. We have to do better, he said, end quote. Well, it starts with just treating people like they're human beings. That's where it starts. Common courtesy and treating people like they're human beings. So the two men arrested, an event that sparked national outrage, public apologies, and racial bias training, and a racial bias training program at the coffee chain's 8,000 U.S. cafes, called for change in an interview with ABC's Good Morning America that aired Thursday morning that we talked about. Meanwhile, Philadelphia lawyer Michael Cord, C-O-A-R-D, an activist and columnist for the African-American newspaper, the Philadelphia Tribune, criticized Police Commissioner Richard Ross late Wednesday night on Facebook. Attorney Michael Cord said, quote, in Philly, following the Starbucks waiting while black fiasco, Commissioner Richard Ross said the officers did absolutely nothing wrong by arresting the two men because, quote, if a business calls the police and says someone is here that it no longer wishes to be inside that business, end quote, then that somehow, then that someone has committed the nonviolent crime of trespass. But what he meant is, quote, the cops who arrested Dr. King for sitting in a white-owned restaurants, for sitting in at white-owned restaurants during the 1960s, did absolutely nothing wrong because he committed the violent crime of trespass, end quote. So, all right. So that is the article from the Philly.com, and that was just updated in the last 25 minutes or so. All right. In interviews Wednesday with the Philadelphia Inquirer and Daily News, neighbors on the block of Bonifant Street in Elmwood, where Rashon Nelson grew up, spoke highly of him. This is one of the two African-American men. These brothers are 23 years old, doing real estate deals. Quote, I'm sure his lawyers told him not to say anything because this is a civil rights case, said John Gossett, who's 48 years old, who lives 2 houses from Nelson's home. Okay. All right. So let's go to some of your comments here. Sorry for that. I wanted to get through this. But this is crazy. The police chief just made it worse. Anybody live in Philadelphia? Anybody live in Philadelphia watching? Does Philadelphia Police Department, do they have a public relations department? This guy should have consulted with public relations. So Delis Ortiz de Leon said arrested for being dark. That's devastating. Rico Davis, how you doing? Gave a thumbs up. Everybody share this broadcast on your own Facebook page. Okay, we're coming to your comments now. And then also, let me post this. Let me tell you quickly. If you like the type of information we share at the African History Network, register for our online courses. We have a 6-pack of online courses. They're all on demand, including Understanding the Transatlantic Slave Trade, what they didn't teach you in school, okay? And I will be, I'm speaking in Detroit Saturday, April 21st at Burt's Warehouse for a Detroit Entrepreneur Workshop, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m., Burt's Warehouse. I'll be speaking there 3 p.m. The event's 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. You can find out legitimatize your business, black and brown network opportunities, need car insurance, credit repair, want to deposit at a black-owned bank or minority-owned bank. Come on out, 2727 Russell Street in Detroit. We'll post the information here for that, okay? So that's this weekend in Detroit. All right, so Mimi Lau said, because you know black men aren't allowed to be dressed in casual gear while trying to make business deals, rolling my eyes. All right. Absolutely. Also, I'm going to post the information about Cleveland as well. I'll be in Cleveland Sunday, April 29th at the Mitchell Event Center for the Natural Hair Care Expo. I'll be speaking there as well, Sunday, April 29th, 2018. Sheila Caldwell said, wow, this is awful. This has to stop it. Absolutely. So you saw the broadcast we did about the Starbucks in California, in the Los Angeles area. You had a similar incident there. Go back and check our podcast for that. We'll talk about, you can see that. We broadcast about that in the last couple of days. Also, check out the article 47. We posted it here on our Facebook fan page, the African History Network. 47 black-owned coffee and tea businesses that are great alternatives to Starbucks. 47 black-owned coffee and tea businesses that are great alternatives to Starbucks. Okay, because a lot of people are really pissed behind this. As we learn more, it gets worse, and we have to redirect dollars to African American owned businesses. Okay, so we posted that here on the thread of the broadcast as well, and it's on our Facebook fan page. That article from shopblack.us, SHOPPE, shopblack.us. So check that out also. Okay, Marie Antoinette Moore Milton said a racist called the police because she knew they were racist also. Wow, simple case of racist calling the slave catchers from 1950s. Tasha Smith said not one dang gone person. All right. Not exactly sure what that means. Can you elaborate on that, Tasha? Tasmin said if more of these companies would hire people of color on executive levels or include people of color as board members where their life experiences are valued and used as valuable tools when it comes to knowing what's appropriate and how to become truly inclusive. In business, you hire people with strengths that you lack. In cases like this, where head executives, I missed the rest of it. Melody Hobson, who's the president of Ariel Capital Management. She's African American. She's on the Tom Joyner Morning Show every Monday morning, dealing with the Money Mondays, I think it is, that segment. She's on the board of Starbucks, and as they reported on the Tom Joyner Morning Show, it was her idea to have the racial bias, implicit bias training. Also, we know that Rosalind Brewer, who was the CEO of Sam's Club, African American female, she was on the board of Starbucks, and in September 2017, she was promoted to Chief Operating Officer of Starbucks also, Rosalind Brewer. Okay, Ty Beeman said they should sue them. I think they will because they have an attorney. Donald said, I thought Frank Rizzo was dead. Apparently not. Barina Morris said, this is so sad and very wrong on so many levels. Absolutely. Daquan said, Islam, peace and love, family. Francis Sutton said, amen. Sheila Caldwell said, trickle-down behavior from that person who sits in the White House. And see what Trump has done, and this is something I warn people about. If you go to AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, you can listen to all of our audio podcasts at AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, at least mine. You listen to the podcast from 2016 during the election campaign, during the presidential campaign. I warned people about what would happen if Trump became president. And Trump has emboldened white supremacists to have absolutely no change. Trump has emboldened white supremacists and also convinced them that there are going to be no consequences as well. So Quinty said, why do we keep talking, marching, and why don't we understand that there is no justice while in captivity? Stop spending your money with these people. That's how you equate justice. That's how you equate change. Just imagine. Well, oftentimes, if you know what you're doing, you can get justice in the court. We have to understand the law. This is trickle-down effect of 45 on Pennsylvania Avenue, Jackie said. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be there much longer, though. I don't think Trump is going to be there much longer. Seriously. Because this thing is getting tight. This thing is getting worse. And people around Trump are saying the criminal charges against Michael Cohen are more of a threat to Trump than the Mueller investigation. Susan Golston, our need to just stop spending our black money in the establishments, period. So that's why I posted the article here, and we'll post it again. That's why I posted the article. 47 black-owned coffee and tea companies that are great alternatives to Starbucks. Okay, you can check that out. They have them all across the country. Bill Kimberly said police didn't even ask to see the printed Starbucks policy or see a sign posted saying you have to buy something. They made up police reports. Are my focus today, and the police chief covering for them. Yep. And so the police reports need to be investigated because the district attorney said there's no evidence of a crime. What good is marching going to do in reality? I honestly feel we as African Americans should practice cooperative economics to generate money. Well, the marching and protesting has drawn attention to this issue and the need for cooperative economics, the need to direct dollars to African American owned businesses. Also put pressure on if you saw the broadcast I did yesterday, I dealt with the statements coming directly from Starbucks website. So CEO Kevin Johnson said the implicit bias training is just the first step to them taking action to rectify this type of problem. Susan said we need to stop spending our money. We need to stop spending our money at these type of establishments. What were they doing? You can sit in Starbucks. Never heard of this, but I live in a different state, said Mary Lukowski. Patrice Price, they refused to buy anything. Now one account said they were waiting for their friend to arrive before they ordered. They said that they told the manager that they were there for a quick meeting and they would be leaving. All right. So those are some of your comments here. All right, guys, we got to get out of here. Hey, be sure to visit our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. Follow us here on our fan page, The African History Network. The African History Network. I'm Michael Imhotep, founder of the African History Network, host of the African History Network show. I'm a talk show host, researcher, lecturer, and writer. We have bundle packs. We have my DVD lectures at our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. We have a 8 DVD bundle pack there right now as well. And then also we have the DVD presentation I did dealing with the film Black Panther. That's right on the home page also at our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. All right, hey, remember at the African History Network, we focus on educating, empowering, and inspiring people of African descent throughout the diaspora and around the world, because right now it corrects your own behavior. What you do for yourself, what you do to yourself, and what you allow other people to do to you and get away with is based upon what you think about yourself. What you think about yourself is based upon what you have been taught about yourself. What you've been taught about yourself is based upon everything you've read, heard, and seen about yourself. So when you control the radius of a man's thoughts, you can control the circumference of his actions, because the mind can't do or teach what it doesn't know. Remember, right now it corrects wrong behavior. It's not over till we win. We'll talk to you next time. Peace. Wakanda forever. Peace.